Welcome to the channel. So today's video is about another lead code problem, which is merging two sorted list. So let's see that what the question is all about. They are basically saying that we have been given the heads of two sorted list, which is basically the list 1 and list 2. We have to merge the two sorted list into one list, and this should be done by splicing together the nodes of the first two lists. Okay, so we have at the end we have to return the head of the merge list. So let's just quickly see the examples. They have said that this is 1 2 4 and 1 2 3 4, so it becomes something like this, like these two nodes combine, and after that we have a 2 the 3 the 2 4 right here. Okay, so if they are empty, then we will have to return empty list, and if one is empty and the other is having a value, so we have to return that simply. Okay, so the edge case is right here, like if the list 1 is empty, then we have to simply return the list 2. In this case, the list 2 the list 1 is empty, so this will happen that if the list 1 is empty, we will simply return this list, right? This is an edge case. Okay, so if in the other scenario the list 2 is empty, so we have to return the list 1, right? So after this this is our main solution, which we have to focus after discussing the edge cases, right? So basically, okay, so we will take an example, and so we can take this example, and okay, so we will take an example which is something different other than this, right? Like if we take this value, right, and we will take a value, right, 1 and 5, suppose, and 9, right? uh, Suppose it is 8 and it is 9, right? I don't know this how this becomes plus, so just delete this and make. Okay, so these are two basically lists. This is the list 1 and this is the list 2. Okay, I hope that it looks something like 8. Okay, so at first what we have to do is we have to declare the pointer which is pointing to list 1. Okay, so basically at this point you see that if the list 1's value, okay, we have pointed the pointer which is ptr to list 1, right? Suppose the ptr is pointing to this value, like I have declared this to this, and it is pointing to this list 1, right? Okay, so you will see that if that list 1's value is greater than list 2 values, then we will declare the pointer to list 2. Like, okay, we have use an if, and what we will do is we will do this, else we will move the list to its next. Okay, so list 1 will be pointing towards this, but we will apply this line of code, and list 1 will go to here. Okay, right, list 1 will go to its next, which is this. Next we will declare a current pointer, and it will point as the same address as the ptr is pointing, so it will point to this one, right? Okay, next we will move to the while loop, and we will see the what is the while loop is doing. Okay, here is our while loop, right? Okay, so what the while loop is doing, they are basically saying that if the current's 1 value is less than the current's 2 value, so current 1 value is basically 2, and current 2 basically list 1 value is basically 2, and list 2 is pointing towards this. Okay, I will write here list 2 value is pointing towards 1. So we will clearly see that this will not work, else this will work, in which the current will current's next, obviously current is pointing to 1, so one's next will be pointing to this, right? So this connection will break. I can easily erase this connection, right? Okay, so 1 will point to list 2, which is 1 at this stage, right? Okay, so list 2 will move to further, list 2 will move to here. Okay, next again the current will move to its next. So current will be pointing at first current is pointing to this one, but now current is pointing to this. So I will write here C, right? Current is pointing to this one. Next, what will happen, the the list one value, which is basically 2, is lesser than 5, right? So currents next will have the value of list 1. So current is pointing to this one and its next will have 2, right? So list 1 will move to its next, and okay, so this has done, and current will move to its next. So current will go to here, right? Now we will see that the list 1 value is okay, list 2 is pointing to this, so they have the same value. Then we will go to the else part, and currents next will be pointing to list 2. So currents next will be pointing to here, and current will go to, sorry, list will go to one step further, and current, which is basically at this stage, it will go to its next, which is 5. So I will now I will rewrite this, so it will become some clear. At this stage it is, I think so, very unclear. So we have achieved this case where 1 is pointing to 2 and 1 is pointing to this, sorry, 1 is pointing to 1 and 1 is pointing to 2 and 2 is pointing to 5, and current is at this point, and list 1 is at this point, and list 2 is at this point. Okay, so we are at this stage right now, right? Okay, so what we will do is, at the next step, the list 1 value is 5 and the list 2 value is 8. So so basically this is the smallest value, so 5's next will have this value and current will move to this, okay? And it will move to one step further, and L1 will be pointing to this, it becomes null. Okay, so so when we will check the while loop, so it becomes, because our list 1 is end, so false and true basically becomes false. So we will come out of the while loop, and if we come out of the while loop, then what will happen is, okay, so we'll see. I will clear this all. So what will happen is, because our list 1 has become empty, right? So we will go here, and currents next will have, current is pointing to this, currents next will have the list 2, right? So what we will have at the end, we have 1 1 2 5 5. Obviously this is not pointing to this because 2 is pointing to 5. 5 5 and 5 5 8, and after 8 we have 9, right? Basically in this way we have basically merged our two sorted list. Like we have this case where we have correctly answered this lead code problem, where we have 1 1 2 5 5 8 and 9. So in this way you can easily merge two sorted list. So make sure that you will solve this problem and try run this as many times as you want, and and if you have any queries you can ask me in the comment section. So thank you so much for watching the video.